not ideal. Need to
Anything.
need to my microphone, it sounds really quiet sometimes.
Well,
And
Heidi
I'm
always
like,
about mine.
yeah.
Um,
You know your little handheld camera thing?
yeah.
Is that a DJI thing? Is it Osmo? What's the brand now?
Like DJI, I've got it's like Osmo 3, I think it's called.
Yeah, right, okay. I was looking at them because one of them came up on Facebook Marketplace. But I think it's the number one. I think because it doesn't say.
Don't get it.
No.
I've got two as well as this one. This is so much better. Like you can go from like the landscape if you wanted to do like YouTube videos, or you could do that way if you wanted to change like the Instagram. But then also you can control it by your phone. So like you can set it up on a tripod, connect it via Bluetooth, and then you can direct it from your phone.
Right. Okay.
And you can I can plug this in and use it as my webcam.
Has that always been the colour of your walls?
Yeah, but it's normally obviously later when we normally go live, but it's really sunny in Scotland just now. So yeah, it's just now you're just noticing it.
World premiere.
This originally was my son's little kind of playroom out in the garden. There we go.
So you haven't had a great day today?
No, I've had a fucking great day.
Good.
My nephew hasn't.
Doesn't sound like it.
No, he's got. I don't know if he's been tested for glandular fever yet, but it's like he's got two like tennis balls on either side of his neck.
Oh shit!
Antibiotics in the hospital last night, and I think both him. I think my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law are both allergic to penicillin, and they gave him a penicillin-based antibiotic in the hospital. So he's probably allergic to it as well.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? If both the parents are allergic.
So now he's through the children's ward getting pumped with steroids and whatnot.
But
he's
yeah,
he's
we do.
PlayStations and everything there.
Yeah, not good. Hello. This font's a bit weird, isn't it? I thought should I change it?
Yeah, I thought you changed stuff up there.
There's one called Creepster. Should we go Creepster? Ooh. Should I just go back to the normal one?
You just like to hang.
That one. There we go. That'll do, won't it?
Yes, I do like to just hang late at night.
Oh, Khalid, now we've got our direct line to you on what's it called, Instagram.
Yeah, I don't have her mobile number. Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. I feel like that Instagram's brought us closer together.
Did you like the one I shared today with the lady in the dress?
Yeah, do you know what? That my algorithm's had a few of those on it recently. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. But yeah, I like that. Is that when she's flicking?
Yeah, he is.
See, there's so many of those videos. I can't help but think, and there's so many videos of blokes walking around with shorts on or grey trackies and these massive giant hogs flapping around. I can't help but think that they're just fake.
My algorithm's that's all it is.
Okay, because there's so many. Like I would. So these hogs that we're talking about, they're probably like what, like soft 10 inches. So like, and how many guys out there, like out of a pool of like 1,000, have got a 10-inch soft cock? One. And yet my algorithm is littered with them.
It's the 1%. I think Instagram thinks I'm gay.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I'd rather that. The worst thing in the world for me would be to have loads of like boobs and mingy ones. That's so boring.
Disgusting.
Dirty.
Yeah. That's disgusting, isn't it?
Ooh.
See,
Um,
before we get going, they're fucking. I'm annoyed, right? Because well, actually, I'm not annoyed. Just in case any of my clients are watching this, I'm not annoyed, but I kind of am annoyed as well because tomorrow at 10 a.m. the tickets for High Rocks Birmingham go on sale, and I really want one, but I've got clients from like 9:30 until 11:30, so I'm definitely not going to get one.
what time? 10 o'clock.
I think they go live at 10 a.m.
I'm free then. I can try and get one. Is it a pairs one you want to get?
If you're up for doing doubles, I'll definitely do men's doubles.
Can we call it couples again? Couples.
Yeah,
High
we
Rocks?
can do a couple
Yeah.
High Rocks.
Yeah, we'll do couples. Cool. And when's the date? October.
Yeah, it's the end of October. I'm in Poland doing it in the start of October, and I'm pretty sure it's like the end. I'll pull up October on the map on the calendar. I think it's like the 23rd until the 26th. I imagine the men's doubles would probably be the Thursday or Friday, and I doubt it would be at the weekend.
So that's the weekend before Rogue, isn't it?
I think it's like
Rogue's the Friday the 29th, isn't it? Or the October. It's definitely Halloween.
I thought it went in November.
Yeah, but Halloween's. I think the Friday's the 31st. I think something like that. Oh, hang on. I've got my. I can show you. My mum made me this calendar. It's not a picture of her naked.
Oh no.
I know. I know. I was disappointed as well, to be honest.
Tell me that. I'm going to show you something. Why is that fucking playing? I was going to pull something up, and then I realised I can't.
All pictures that she had taken over the year, last year. And it's just on my desktop. It's nice.
That's cool.
Little houses. That's the Aurora Borealis she took from her house. That's cool, isn't it?
There we go. Get a Mayhem. Mason, don't even start, mate. Let's get Ken in here, actually. He was pissing me right. He actually wasn't annoying me, to be fair, but Jake doesn't even know what this is about. But it is very patronizing when someone tells you that you need to be saved and all.
Oh, I love that. It's great. I love being told that I need to be saved. Yeah, it's always pleasant and makes you really feel really good.
I feel great.
The rebuttal that I've whittled it down to over the many years and conversations that I've had with people like that is...
I bet it's what I said.
Well, for me, all you need to do to understand my position is think about how you feel about any other religion.
That's what
that's how I feel about yours. You just happen to believe in one more than me. That's all it is. That's all it is. You believe in one more than me. Out of 3,000 of them, you believe in one more than me. We're pretty much the same. Like 2,999 of them, we're totally in cahoots about. But there's just this one that we're not. So just try and remember how you feel about that. And that's that. If it's hard to understand that, then that's cool. But that's why I keep bringing up about Islam and Muslims. Like it's the same. It's the same thing for me. How people believe.
That's what Mason said.
Yeah.
As well.
And it's just the easiest way. It's the easiest way to think about it.
I would like to get a Mayhem coach on here though, Mason, but not to speak about religion.
No. Is Facundo religious or not?
I think every person that's like coached
involved.
Mayhem.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's their thing, isn't it?
What's their thing? Faith,
freedom,
service,
and values.
freedom and service or something like that. Is it not?
Cervix. Services.
Service. Yeah, I'm pretty sure service is a big part of it. Oh, Facundo is gay. Not that matters, but you can be religious and can you? I don't know how do you can.
This is the other thing that I don't think people seem to realise.
I love Facundo, by the way.
Yeah, he's awesome. There's a particular scent that goes with the new wave American Christianity. There's a particular. there's a particular essence to it that you don't get it anywhere else. And I think it's the pairing of the confidence and the brashness and the confidence, I guess, that I've now said that twice out of three, but of American culture, and you mix that in with Christianity, and that's what we get. And the only other instance of that in other religions is just Islam. It's the confidence, and it's the fuck you, and we're looking down on you. And this is what someone said about it earlier. Jeremy actually said it. He said that's the problem that we have in this, is that a lot of people kind of talk down to people about it, and that's not the right way about doing things.
Well, that's what I said to Ken originally. I was like, do you realize how like arrogant and patronizing you sound when you say this?
Yeah, but in a lot of people's minds, that pairs up with having faith in something, but it doesn't have to be, because most people aren't like that. Send Jeremy a link.
I know it comes from a place like meaning well, but to someone that doesn't have the same beliefs, it's like
kind of it can do. I don't think it always does though. Come from a good place.
Yeah, I would like to think it comes from a good place.
Yeah, it's the get out of jail free card though. It's coming from a good place. Because I want to save you. It's the language. It's I want to save you. I want you to go to heaven. I don't want you burning in hell for eternity, but that's where you're gonna go. It's like, whoa, like we're all good here, mate. It's quite the threat, isn't it? But also, you have to believe in it for it to be an actual threat. So it to me, it's not real. So it's not a threat. It's empty. It's just the meaning behind the threat. That's the issue. That's what comes across. That's all it is. But you know, each to their own. It's easy sometimes to forget that cultures are wildly different, and also for people outside the US, it's really easy to forget how fucking massive the United States is. Yeah, I was talking to CJ the other day, or today, sorry, and we were talking about like travel time from his house to like the airport, and it's like a 5-hour drive. I was like, fuck, that's like from me to Newcastle. Like,
if I was to go to a proper airport, I would be like 3.5, 4 hours away.
Yeah. Like, but I always assume that everywhere's near itself in the US, but then you think about the fucking, it's the size of Europe across. Huge, like from here to Ukraine is from like Florida to California.
Man, I don't even know where Ukraine is. I know it's next to Poland. Border. Yeah, there we go.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Do you go to improper airports?
Because I said a proper airport. I mean, like a big airport. Like I couldn't. The one that's closest to me, Heidi, I couldn't fly international. You can actually, you can hardly fly anywhere to it. Actually, no, you can fly Amsterdam from it. I'm bullshitting. You can fly Amsterdam. So the likes of when I go to Poland in October for Hyrox, I could either fly from Inverness to Amsterdam to Poland, and it costs like £800, or I can drive 3 hours to Edinburgh and fly from Edinburgh to the Gdansk for like £200. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like £200 difference. Crazy. Like, it's a 7-hour drive for you to get to Odd. She splits up with people that are 45 minutes away. So
like, obviously, we all know this isn't the real map, don't we? But if we go,
are we pulling Google Maps on this show?
So like, if I'm getting search Google Maps, if I go like That's my old house, by the way. If I go from London, UK, how do you do fucking directions? And if you go for flights, go from where are we talking? Ukraine, Kiev. They changed it, didn't they?
Kiev.
Oh, Kiev.
It looks
Kiev. That's Kievan. Can you still fly to Kiev? Oh, you can't fly from. Yeah, but anyway, fucking. It's not as big, but bear in mind, right? So Europe is on the map and time zones the same distance. Like you look at Ukraine to like Ireland, we're looking at Florida to California. And you think of all the fucking difference in cultures and change and passports necessary and social norms and fucking everything that is between here and here. That's a lot of different people, different cultures, different societies, different laws, different fucking age restrictions. There's so much difference there. And then you go over here.
Even just from Paris to like the south of France, the culture's fucking different.
Yeah. But yet you go from the willy over here to like the arsehole over here. It's the same country. And yet we in Europe, I'm saying we, like
look at that. The furthest ends of Texas are 13-hour drive apart. That would be, it would take me 13 hours to drive from where I am to London.
Yeah.
But actually, no, it would take me less. It would take me 11 hours.
Yeah. So Yon's like
I'm here, yeah, up there.
And
Inverness, well, 15 miles from Inverness all the way down to London. That would take 11 hours.
Yeah. Mad, isn't it? And that's one state.
Yeah, crazy.
But yet Europe is over twice the population of the US.
There we go.
Put
it this way, there's about 7 million people in Scotland, but there's more than that in London alone.
Yeah.
But, and I'm taking those figures from like about 20 years ago, so fuck knows what it is now.
But it's easy to forget how fucking giant, like in terms of land mass, the US is for a lot of people outside of it. Yeah. Well, isn't California like in the top 10 economies on its own on Earth? Something like, yeah, the GDP is like in the top 10 on its own worldwide. Nuts. Yeah.
So how's your day been?
My day. Fucking what have I been doing? I'm booking in calls for the base show and getting stuff sorted for that. This morning doing programming, went to the gym, trained. Oh, I did a well good session today. So did you
bench?
No, I did a fucking lot of bench yesterday. Like yesterday's programming was nuts. I had like an hour yesterday, and I thought I just want to do push pull supersets and a push pull and a leg movement. So it was things like leg extensions, bench, and T-bar rows. And that was like a giant set. And I did like 4 giant sets of increasing load. And I did 3 lots of different giant sets involving like dumbbell press, flies, bent over rows, blah, blah, blah. That was yesterday. And then today I had half an hour and I thought, fuck, what do I want to do? So, and I want to avoid the bottom position of a squat at the moment just because my knees are a bit funny. So I did 12 calorie every 3 minutes, 12 calorie C2 bike sprint, 10 box squats. So the top just above parallel, 10 box squats, and then 3 power cleans. And I did 8 rounds of that. So once every 3 minutes, and I did 8 rounds, and it was just fucking go hard on all of it. Jack the heart rate up, get the legs fucking pumped, and then move on. But yeah, it was good. I had half an hour before a client, so I just went through that. And then, yeah, felt amazing. So your training's looking different.
I literally just pulled up my spreadsheet because I was like, I wonder if I doubt Jack would be annoyed if I was to share it on here.
Red cheeks. Mason, it was 140 on the squat kilos, whatever the fuck that is. 140 on the squats and then 100 on the power cleans. So it wasn't like it was just supposed to be a sprint.
Look at the bottom of my spreadsheet because it says like meal plan, training plan, heads.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously a lot of his clients are bodybuilding clients, so they take PEDs. So, but it's like that's what's in the spreadsheet. That's in the spreadsheet.
So, quick one, your question, Barry, on there. I'm trying to get Alex, who's he's the manager of Concept 2 in the UK. I met him a few years ago now, 2016, 17. We borrowed a load of kit for our comps. I'm trying to get him on the show because I really want to talk to him about that machine.
What's it called again? I was just trying to pull it up, but it's
something like Strength or fucking C2 Strength or Mason will know.
You'd think it'd be on the Concept 2 website.
You'd have thought so. 300.
Not. That's weird.
Is it even for sale? Is it for sale yet?
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, 308 Mason. Yeah, Strength Erg. There you go. It might even be its own. You think it'd be on its yeah, it might be a US release first, as always, like fucking Meta AI asking questions.
Oh, there we go. It is on their website. $1,500. It looks fucking shit.
Rituals.
Yeah, Trish. I like that.
We will talk about that in a bit.
Stop screen. No, I want to pull something else up. Stop screen.
I'm loving Adidas at the moment, by the way. I've got a feeling. When's the Corn documentary out?
This. Do you know who's got one? Jacob Hepner.
Oh no! What are these machines?
I seen him on one. I'm sure it was him.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks awful.
But the thing is does it work as a leg extension and all that shit as well? Does that
a leg press, a row?
Leg press. Yeah.
What else? Yeah, look, leg press. Leg press, chest press, seated row. That'd be it.
See, it could be a pretty good tool, you know.
I think like someone like a physio.
Yeah, I can see a lot of value in it. You know, like obviously we're within the CrossFit world. People just think about it as fucking like at our type of gym. But if you put that imagine putting that in a hotel gym. Or at a senior's home. Like imagine putting that in old people's home.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In like a doctor's office, in a physio's office, like something like that. Then yeah, I think it's definitely got its place. And they're not going to make something that they know that it isn't going to sell.
No, they're not. They're not idiots, are they?
You know,
the only thing I don't know. We've talked about this before, but the PM5. I really feel like it needs an update, and I don't know what exactly. But
what would you do with it though? Because it tells you everything you need to know.
Touchscreen, or I mean,
Wi-Fi,
color, like a bit of color. Like it can't be that fucking hard to put a color screen in there. Yeah, Wi-Fi, like what built-in Wi-Fi, just easy, easily
connect it to like Strava, just like fucking like that.
Yeah, more connectivity maybe.
Mason will be able to tell us that you could do all that with
Apple.
An app. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
able to connect your phone straight to the monitor.
Yeah, and you can, and it is fine. And those fucking the phone attachment things are £1 on Concept 2 website.
Yeah, there we go.
I think you get them free now, don't you? You get one thrown in when you buy I mean, they're very generous of them. But yeah, you get one comes with it, don't you? Wi-Fi, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Rather than
my
getting that.
Breaker, I can put my fucking iPad screen and everything in it.
Right. It
I
just
can
seems
hold.
like an obvious win, but then if you think about it, imagine the amount of fucking new. If it was, let's call it PM6. Imagine having to send out or like replace all of those shit.
Mason, will you actually buy one of those? Mason's trying to justify buying one.
I just think they're a pretty cool tool. Like if you've got minimal room and you want to get a load of work done without having to plate load, because it's obviously air. You're not having to load plate. You don't need anything like that.
Well, I pray Fergie wins. I see if I had like more space, I would definitely get one, because as you say, if you get like older folks and people that are rehabbing, anything like that, be brilliant.
The other thing to bear in mind, right, is that let's take a leg press. Let's take a like a row, right? You've got the couple of the movements that are on there, right? Just take a row and a leg press, right? When you're in the gym at a regular leg press and a row, you've got fucking no idea about the force production. You've got you could figure it all out and all that crap. You've got actual fucking data on a screen telling you.
That's what I'm trying to see. Does it tell you like your what strength, like what you're putting out? Because obviously, like the row will tell you like your wattage.
Yeah, I'd imagine it'd be what.
It'll tell you your drive length, drive time, drive speed, time under tension.
Yeah.
Force at the completion of each rep. The monitor will display your average force you've applied through the range of movement. When you've ended your set, it'll tell you the set average force. Do you know, that's pretty good.
It's good, isn't it? You think like you don't get that from just regular leg presses, or you don't get that from a vertical row or anything like that. A horizontal row, sorry. Yeah,
not unless you like sensors on the bars and stuff like that.
Yeah, we've got those fucking output things at the institute, and I mean they're good tools for people that understand data and want to use it. And we have everyone that comes in do the CMJ, do counter movement jumps when they first come in to have a look at like how responsive they are from the ground. And
do you actually do that with everyone? Yeah, that's class.
Yeah. And we do that. So the most common with the athletes that come in, the most common thing we want to get them doing is like the the head coach there is trap bar deadlifts. And we have the output sensor on that, so it can gauge like velocity and meters per second. I do it for bench now and again just to see how I'm holding up and how that is. But yeah, it's a really good tool. It's a really good tool, but again, it's not. It's only as good as the data you pull out of it. Like,
and then what you're going to use it for, because it's like you have all the data in the world, but if you don't know how to like interpret it to then like get better, then there's no point in even having it.
No, and it's a little bit. It verges on the kind of edge of smoke and mirrors. Like the people can use it to fucking add 20 minutes of time in the gym, fanning about, saying, "Oh, I can't do this because of this," or "Oh, well, let's have a look at the data," and then rather than just fucking getting on with their session, or saying, "I should be doing this because of this," like just go, just move, see how you get on, and then we can use the data after. We won't analyze the data in the middle. It's just a lot of that shit. A lot of people enjoy procrastinating, and they found a way to do that by being analysts. It's like, no, just fucking move. And that's the good thing about being direct with your clients. It's like, leave that to me. Don't ask me about the intricacies of the fucking metatarsals during a box jump. Just fucking do a box jump.
Yeah,
like you want to get fitter and healthier, stronger, faster. Just do a jump. Do 10 box jumps like I've asked. Don't ask me about the intricacies of fucking this, that, and the other. People love to add. They want to sound intelligent, but all they're doing is procrastinating. and a half decent coach can just see through it and call it out. Come on, go.
Or
Up it with the kids all the
people
time.
that will add on stuff to what you've already you've got them doing. So it's like, but they think they're being a good client. It's like, it's like it's up to us to tell them, but they think they're being a good client by like, oh, after I'd done X, Y, and Z, I did after, because it's like, it's like, extra credit, but it's like, no, the program's a program. If you'd done it with the intent that I'd written out, you didn't have to do X, Y, and Z after. I've had clients like that.
We all have a worry hole.
What about your problem hole? Is that full at the
Your
moment?
problem hole, is it the same as a worry hole?
My worry hole's always full, but my problem hole is very rarely full. But the worry hole is overflowing into the problem hole.
What was it? Oh yeah, so at my old gym, there was this guy that used to come over, because we're obviously near Heathrow, and he used to come over for work near where we were. We were his drop-in, so he'd book on with us for a month. So he'd come to the gym for a month, like twice a year. And fuck me, he was the worst. Why is it drop-ins are fucking idiots? They've got this point to prove. It's like they're trying to, like, you go, right, warm up, right, go and grab yourself a light kettlebell, straight to the 24 kilo kettlebell. It's like, hey, we're warming up. It's such a knock.
When I first started CrossFit, I was very guilty of that. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I was like, you would have fucking hated me when I first joined CrossFit, because until I went to CrossFit, I was fucking anti-CrossFit, because it was like from powerlifting background. So when I went into the box, you would have fucking hated me to begin with, until I got like humbled fast.
Yeah.
And it was it was like very first day. A lassie Stacey, that was a coach, fucking like snapped me fucking out of it. Like, and I was like, all right, cool, I do no shit in this place.
That's the thing. You either get humbled and you go, okay, cool, I'll rein it in, or you get humbled, you go, oh, this is shit, not for me.
I liked it.
Because we were so close to Heathrow, we used to get a lot of drop-ins, like a lot. Like every day we'd have at least 2. And yeah, there's this one guy, James, used to come from like fucking Singapore or somewhere, and he was there for a month. And he would always try and just change something up just ever so slightly to be in control. He had this control thing where he had to be into he didn't want to give all his decision making over to the coach and the programming. He had to be in charge of something. It was little tweaks here and there. So it would be like, even if it would be like, oh, I think that bench is a little bit too high, you might want to pop it down, Nope, that's fine. No, I got it. And then he'd struggle to unrack, and it's like, oh,
disengage the shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. But what do I know, But
we know we were in a chat with a guy like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Grant, for anyone that's listening. I'm talking about someone else.
No. Talking about PK. No. So, but he everything had to be just his way, and in his head, if he changed it, it became his thing. He decided. He wouldn't ever just let someone else decide for him. It's a control thing. But anyway, he would do that all the fucking time, and then he'd get hurt, and then it would be, oh, I didn't get the hang of the workout, or the workout was wrong, or okay, fine. But after every fucking workout, he would do this ab circuit. And the one thing that you really don't have to do in weightlifting, powerlifting, CrossFit gyms is a post-workout ab session. And he would do it, and it's the same thing, and it was just bullshit. And you'd be stood there watching and thinking, what are you doing? It's just shit. And it's just a control thing. A lot of people don't like giving up control. They've got to be in the hot seat. They've got to have some say in the matter. They can't just trust a coach or a process. They think, and it comes down to, it's a control it's a control thing, but it is ego and narcissism. It's I know best. I know better than you. you could have fucking Adrian Bosman coaching, and that he would
They
change
would
the
still have
workout.
something to say. Yeah.
Mm.
And that, it's ego, but also I see it a lot, and it's going to be people that are like, they're afraid, and it boils down to ego as well, but it's because they're afraid to look bad in front of other people. So it's like if they see something on the whiteboard or in their programming that they know they're not very good at, it's like they're trying to get like a way around it. You know what I mean?
And my favorite way around it is when they go RX plus and do a really shit time or score, and then
they went heavier.
Well, I went RX. That's why I was shit. It's like, no, you're shit because you're shit. You should have listened to the scaling options and adjusted it to suit your ability, you prick. This was when we came out with the scaled version of the Open. This was my fucking issue with that. It was that people that had no business doing RX normally,
they would
still did RX.
Yeah,
they still did RX, even though there was an option that was much more suited for them, and they still did RX just so they could be above the leaderboard. It's like, fuck, hell, it's in the whole point.
I think I've only ever scaled like only ever RX'd a handful of open workouts.
Yeah, but again, you're a sensible coach, and you would assume one of your clients would listen and do that themselves. So you've got the knowledge to understand why you're doing it. People forget why they're doing shit. They just want to feel like they're the man or the woman. But I scaled 2020. I think all three of them. It was the first one. Did we do it at home?
2020 was in the box, and then there was another one at home. Was that not the year when there was two? Was it the end of 19? There was two that were in quick succession.
That might have been 19.
I'm sure it was 19 into 20. I'm sure there was one at the end of 2019, and then like February just before started lockdown, was it?
Yeah, but that November one was fucking brilliant for us.
Yeah, that was the one with the 10 rounds, the ground overhead, burpee over bar and stuff. That was a fucking excellent workout.
Yeah, but because the timing of the year, it was pre-Christmas. That's the same for everyone. But the weather hadn't gone fucking full dark mode and shitty.
Yeah.
So we'd just come out off the back of a real good summer, and we had like a month and a half to prep, and then it was the Open. So in terms of like climate, that was the best year we'd had. But no, there was a year, I think it must have been 21. My knees were shot to shit, and there was like double unders, and I couldn't jump an inch off the floor without fucking agony. I mean, it was the wall walks.
Yeah, that was when they introduced wall walks. It was the wall walk, dumbbell snatch, box jump overs.
Yeah. So
that workout.
Yeah. So I had to scale massively that year, but because I still wanted to do the Open, I didn't want to lose my streak. So I just scaled it, and I just did it anyway in the garden. But it for me, doing the Open genuinely isn't about the leaderboard. It's not. It's at this point. It was when I first started. Don't get me wrong, but over the years, I kind of realised you're not doing this to get to regionals or the games. You're doing it to keep going at CrossFit, because if I don't do the Open, I've got no real needs or reason to maintain throughout the year or develop my cycle throughout the year and train. It's just the way that I enjoy training after so many years of doing it. It just works for me. So it's important to do that and keep in touch with doing it, and have that streak, because I'm the Undertaker when it comes to the Opens.
Do you follow your like Erin and Dan's programming, or do you just kind of like do a class with them throughout the week and then kind of do your own thing?
Yeah, most of the year I do. So like obviously the Open was March. I'll have like 6 to 8 weeks of a bit more freedom with my own thing. So I'm doing a bench cycle and doing a couple more heavy days than Metcon. So at the moment, it's quite good. We're doing 2 40-minute workouts. Hello, Grant. 2 40-minute workouts within the 5 days cycle, because we have Thursdays and Sundays off. We're shut, the gyms. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Out of those 5 days of the week, we have 2 40-minute sessions at the moment. So what I'm trying to do those 2, and then I'm doing 3 heavy days, and a mixed modality one. So today was a little bit of a power session. That was it. That's all I did. I did those 8 rounds of once every 3 minutes. So 12 cal, 10 box squat, 3 power cleans once every 3. It was taking about a minute 15 to get through each, and then I had best part of a minute and 45 rest each time. So that was all my session was today, and that was enough. That I warmed up properly and then did that, and that was more than enough for me. Oh mate, I've got an update on my client with the Ozempic stuff.
Okay.
You know, and he doesn't mind talking about it. I won't name him or anything.
Ask that, yeah.
So he started on it in October last year, and he was at 123 kilo body weight, and he was 34% body fat when he started.
That's
He sent me his in bodies actually earlier, his sheets. I won't put them up just in case there's anything on there. But so he's been doing an in body just going on once a week until then. So we've seen this gradual sort of drop and elevation in certain things, and so his visceral fat was at 16 when we so at the end of October. His visceral fat is now down to 7. Right. For everyone, if you don't know, the fat around the organs and internal. So the level of fat is like well over halved around his organs, which is awesome. His body fat percentage is now 18. So he's at 18% body fat, down from like 34. His muscle mass has only gone down a kilo. So not as percentages, and that 1 kilo from 132 kilo body weight down to 123 kilo body weight. He's now down to 101 kilo body weight.
That's it.
And so he's at 101 kilos, and he's at 18% body fat, down from 123 kilo body weight at 34% body fat. So, and he looks fucking a different man. Like, he's vascular. Like, he's gone from being, like, according to BMI and blah 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 blah, morbidly obese, and man, it's completely changed him. Like, but the thing is, he's doing 4 sessions a week with me in the gym, and all we do is strength. He hasn't done a single. The most cardio he does is sets of 10, right? And we kind of split it bodybuilding style. So it'll be chest and tries on a Monday, back and buys on the Wednesday, legs on the Friday, and then over the weekend we'll do shoulders and a bit of trunk work, right? So that's all we're doing. We're doing strength, but his protein intake has been maintained quite high.
That's the key.
Yeah, but he's done it really well, and I've talked to him all the way, and he didn't when he first started, he knew my take on it, but he didn't brief me on it. He didn't say to me, "What do you think?" or anything like that. He's a fucking 38-year-old man. He can do what he wants. I'm not going to try and convince him otherwise. So I went along with it, and I was saying, look, thanks for telling me. I'll make sure that I'm aware of it, and we'll weigh in on a Wednesday morning, and we'll go through and we'll make sure that we're eating enough protein and keeping on top of it. But mate, as much as I fucking hate to say it, he has been a resounding success story for it, because he's done it well and he's done it properly, and it's what it was intended for.
This is the thing, because I've always kind of been by the belief that there's certain people out there that genuinely do need it, but they need people that understand, coaching, that understand health and fitness to actually help them, because a doctor prescribing it that has no fucking clue about and they don't, because they're general practitioners, they don't know about energy systems, they don't know how much protein someone should be eating, they don't know, they don't know about fucking training. Like, all they're thinking about is getting them into a healthy BMI, which to them, they don't care if they've got more muscle or less muscle. They don't care if they're losing, their skeletal, bone density and all this kind of stuff. And that's where we need people inside the industry to actually not be behind it, but to actually people, because as you say, he's a 38-year-old guy. If you'd said to him, no, I don't want you using it, he doesn't give a fuck. He's going to use it anyway, and you can either help him do it safely, or you can do what he wants, and then it could be a very different outcome.
And again, we've got a quite a high level doctor in the gym. So he's 61-year-old guy. His wife's also a doctor. Very successful guy, really cool guy. We were having a conversation with him a few weeks ago about side effects, and we don't know about them all yet. And there's these side effects happening, muscle wastage. Clearly, that's not happened with my client. All these downsides, but he said, and this is him, he said, yes, but compare that to the side effects of being morbidly obese at the age of 50 or the age of 40. What are the side effects of that? What comorbidities happen there? As your life expectancy drops for every 10% body fat extra, it drops about 5 years. So if it depends on how you look at all of this, but also you can go too far with that argument. It's really got to be nuanced and spoken about it by people that actually understand the argument. Because what you then do, as soon as it's like any drug or any pharmaceutical, it's like TRT, for example. You want to optimize. It's all in how you talk about it. If you want to optimize hormonal levels, that's awesome. As soon as you open the door for that, and the wrong people talk about it, the wrong people get on it, the wrong people have the wrong volumes, then you start getting into issues. You're not going to stop the average 50-year-old bloke hopping on TRT because it's available. He can get it. He can afford it. You're not going to tell him he can't do it. What you can do is support him. Make sure he's doing it properly. Make sure he's getting his bloods done. Make sure he's training well, eating well, sleeping well, keeping on top of things, monitoring it, and not going nuts with it. You're not going to put them off doing it. Yes, there's other better ways of survival.
But TRT, when it's done with a doctor, is optimizing your hormones. It's not, so they're within, your optimal levels. It's when you get people that say, oh, I'm doing TRT, but they're just injecting whatever they want, and it's super physiological, not doing bloods. That's not TRT.
No,
TRT is doctor prescribed, and you're within your health range. That's I'm all for whatever anyone wants to do to their own body anyway. Do what they want. We're going to see a massive change in the Ozempic and Mounjaro. I don't know what you'd even call it. A wave soon, because there's a new one now that's in phase 3 trials. It's called retatrutide, which is fucking it blows Ozempic, and it's semaglutide and tirzepatide or something, I think the Mounjaro's called. So Ozempic's that's a GLP-1 receptor agonist, and then the other one is it's a GIP and a GLP. So is it, what one's your client taking?
Is it Wegovy? What are they called?
So there's is it Wegovy or whatever he's taking?
Yeah. I don't know. Wegovy.
So that's a dual one. So he's taking a GIP and a GLP-1. So but now Reta, there we go. Here, Grant knows about it. I have it. There we go. And you fucking have it in his closet. There we go. Yeah. So retatrutide, that's in phase 3 clinical trials, but that hits your GLP-1, your GIP, and your glucagon receptors. So not only that, it doesn't have as an intense appetite suppressant, but it still does. But then it also it increases your energy expenditure, because it adds glucagon to the receptors, stimulation. So basically, it's going to help you burn more fat and retain muscle while not eating as much.
So yeah, I'll come on to Seema.
That'll change the game for people.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you there, and this is the two brain thing. This is the like fucking cognitive dissonance that I've had over the last 6 months. Is that the argument about what would the because I don't know if you knew, like Jon knows because we talked about it 1,000 times, but about a year ago I'd have been saying fuck you, no, it's lazy, da 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 da. But then I've had this one client that is fucking worked for. But the thing is, I still hold the belief in here that you're always going to be better off doing it the old-fashioned way. That there's no doubt about that for me. However, I did have a conversation. I won't say her name, but I had a conversation with a lady about a week ago who is fucking mega fit, like really one of the fittest people in the UK, right? Well, was at one time, and she was really ill, and she's in really fucking good shape, like athlete shape. Okay, she was ill, and she just was not hungry. She didn't want to eat. You know, when you're just ill, like when you have gastroenteritis or something, or you've been ill and you're just not hungry, right? She went from having like 3,500, 4,000 calorie diet a day to struggling to get 1,000 in because she just was not hungry. And she said in this conversation with me, which is obvious now, I'm saying it out loud, but at the time it was really poignant. It was coming from her. She said, now I get how those hormone, the Ozempics of the world work. Now I get it because she can feed that voice. She doesn't necessarily have that voice strongly telling her to eat crisps and shitty food and excess calories and this, that, and the other. But she went from, a very, very healthy diet, a big diet of a lot of calories to sustain her, athletic endeavors and being an individual and working, to then not having that voice of, oh, you got to eat, it's lunchtime, you got to eat, you should eat. And the hunger receptors, it wasn't there. And she was saying, I get it. This is how they work. And because we're people, I talk from my own experience here. I have no issue not eating, or I have no issue saying, right, I'm done now, or okay, today I've got to eat this. I don't have that fucking internal monologue saying you should eat this or there's more or whatever. But people do have that voice, and also it grows. That voice gets obviously more prominent with the bigger you get, and because there's other factors that go into it. Your metabolic health, your hormonal profiles, they all change, and it gradually over time it'll build up this kind of headspace where breaking out of that, man, it must be so fucking hard. And again, Steamer, going back to your point, I'm totally with you. It is the best way, without a doubt, for me. Doing it the old-fashioned way of eat meat, so see some very little starch, no sugar, keep intake to that supports exercise, not body fat, blah, 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 blah. I'm totally there. Totally there. However, in some circumstances, I really do feel like it is there as a tool to be used just to kickstart that. And I've changed my mind has been completely changed in the last year on that. A year ago, I had no exceptions to that rule. It was no, I'm not with anyone. I'm not promoting anyone to be on that. But now my mind's been changed because I've actually seen it play out. So I think sometimes you do have to just kind of observe and see where it can work. Now, I'm not saying everyone should do it. I'm really not saying everyone do it, because I've heard some horror stories about people not using it well and not using it effectively, and then it goes to shit. So I'm not saying it's for everyone, but
you'll get that with anything in life.
Exactly.
Regardless if it's fucking Ozempic. You get that. Yeah. You get that with people fucking not taking these things but dieting too extremely. Do you know what I mean? Even without Christ, my coach Ailey, well, she's not my coach at the moment, but she basically dieted herself down until she was, institutionalized because her heart stopped.
Yeah.
because she's that obsessed with being, being as lean as possible. So people will take it to the extremes whether they're using drugs or not. If put it this way,
Yeah.
if this was around when I was 20, when I was like 100, I was like 147 kilos
Yeah.
when I was like 20 years old. That's like, well, Seema, you're talking 350 pounds, so like you've been there, but I think you're probably much taller than I am. I'm only 5'8", so yeah. If someone had like told me at 20 years old, like, oh, you can take this and you'll not, probably like, I didn't, because I was someone that's like, back then I had that switch where I just like you, just like, oh, I just didn't have to think of eating. Like it was like when I gave up drinking, I
Yeah.
just went cold turkey. It was like I did that and gave up eating for like 8 months and lost
Yeah.
like 150 pounds, like in the 8 months. But when life stress has happened, a lot of like triggers came back. You know what I mean? Like from that, it was just like, oh, I like coasted for 10 years, and then all of a sudden there was like loads of stuff happening in life, and it was like reverted back to teenage ways. See, if someone told me then, like, oh, you can take this and you'll just not ever like feel hungry, I'd be like, all right, cool, I could take that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was long before, like going through life, and now I'm so invested in the journey of like actually like enjoying like the process of becoming who you're
Yeah.
trying to, like that's part of like the goals, is actually like
Yeah.
enduring the process and like being like
Yeah.
enjoying the like where I want to be like in like 6 months time. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
enjoying that process of getting there. But I understand why some people might think there's no other way to do it.
Yeah. And like I said, like a year ago, my position was so different. And you can probably go to Sevi's fucking shows from a year ago and look at my comments of me being a bit harsh about it. But Heidi, fuck off.
Yeah, it's
I've
fucking not.
got better at that. I've got a lot better at it. But this is the way that British people communicate, okay? And Jon's British, so I'm doing it. So it's fine. Your microphone's fine. What was I fucking talking about before Heidi?
I know a coach, right? He doesn't have anything. He's not overweight, but he experimented with. I'm pretty sure it was retatrutide, so then he could talk about it. But what came of it was he realised that he had an alcohol problem, right?
Right.
But
Okay.
for the 8 weeks that he was taking retatrutide, he didn't have one drink,
Wow.
and
That's interesting.
everybody was commenting on the fact that they hadn't seen him having a drink, and then he was like thinking back, and he was like,
Wow.
shit, like he was always, he had a drink he was drinking every single night, even though he's mad for health and fitness, but he was and now there's a lot of people looking into the fact that it could like help like other addiction,
Yeah.
because it takes away that noise, that thing that you like, that thing that like, it's like, that itch you have to scratch. And for a lot of people, emotional eaters, probably people that like a drink, it's, there we go, Kip in there. Literally, my friend's an alcoholic, and it stopped.
And fucking arguably, again, like my doctor mate said, the side effects of Ozempic could be that you grow an extra leg. I mean, that'd be great, but surely that would be much preferable to like the effects of alcoholism and like fucking your body up like really badly with alcohol, because we all know how that goes. But again, like you said a minute ago, like I haven't got an addictive personality whatsoever. Like I'm not. I've never been addicted to anything. I have been addicted to a lot of people. I've never been addicted to anything, any substance. I've never taken pharmaceuticals other than fucking when I've absolutely fucking needed it, like antibiotics or paracetamol now and again. But I'm not in a habit of doing it because I haven't needed to. And
I'm the opposite end of the spectrum. I've
yeah,
very addictive personality, and that probably comes probably from ADHD, but like loads of stuff, like dependent on food, dependent on I wasn't an alcoholic, but I was definitely had a really bad relationship with alcohol, and then opiates for sure as well. So I definitely can see like the benefits to things like that, but I can also see the potential risks as well.
Yeah. But that's really interesting about like addiction in general. Just could these sort of things work with the other the other addictions? Are they powerful enough to switch that off? Because from what I've been told, like if you think about drug addicts, like someone talks about drug addicts, like taking them to escape or to get away from pain, or you know, a lot of people do that with use drugs for that. You're not gonna resolve the pain that they're in that's causing them to use the drugs. How would that work? Like would that switch off the association between the pain and needing to resolve it with substance? I don't know.
I just pulled while we were just chatting there. Why do people always bring up? I don't even have a mic. I fucking do, and it's fine. So fuck
You might,
off.
yeah. Fuck off.
Here we go. Blah blah. Aye. I just went while you were chatting there. I pulled it up saying like, why would retatrutide be like beneficial for other addictions? And it says the GLP-1 and the GIP glucagon pathways affect the brain, especially your reward system. So things like your dopamine cravings, any compulsive behavior. So it obviously reduces the cravings and that reward feeling from like any like addictive substances. And they're saying like the early studies have shown that it reduces alcohol intake, even people that are like seeking like cocaine and stuff like that. It'll like reduce that.
Wow.
Interesting. Breaking the compulsive reward cycle is basically what it's doing, and helping you with impulse control.
Fuck. Do you know what? I think I should get my dad to go on it.
Why is it? Fuck it. Maybe it isn't on.
Tap it.
I'm unplugging it. Do I sound any different right now? This is the argument that me and Heidi had last week, right? And I unplugged it again, and then
if you tap it.
But I've unplugged it at the moment, and I'm plugging it back in because I think it did this last week.
So whilst you're doing that, so I think I've said it a couple of times. Say it again.
I bet it's working better now.
I don't know. I'm
nah. Wait.
Yeah, I've said before, my dad's got like clinical OCD, so he's medicated for it. So listen.
Here we go.
There we go. Look at that.
Sorry, Heidi. It wasn't on. Sorry.
Takes a real man to admit when he's wrong. Oh, no rep.
Did you spoken ill about my mic?
So I noticed that says no rep at the beginning, and CrossFit posted something. CrossFit Medical Society posted that as on one of the things, and it says no rep in ephedrine.
Yeah, there we go.
So, I think Hiller should do something with that. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, my dad's got clinical OCD. He's been put, you know, he's gone through the ringer with it. So there's my mum with it. But OCD is compulsion. It's voice in your head telling you to do something, and it's kind of like it's like a version of Tourette's, but with movement and repetition. So an example of like that would be, and like 2 o'clock in the morning, once my mum found him outside counting the bricks on the walls outside. As soon as she interrupted, he had to start again, and he was at like 700 odd, so he had to start again. It's this compulsion. You get that voice saying, do this or something will happen. And it's this narrative that you have to do something. And it's this utter compulsion to do something, similar to Tourette's, where there's this compulsion within the body to do something physical. And, you know, he'll be tapping his fingers and it'll be like a 3-time tap and you'll notice it and then he'll do it again. And it's clearly a mental health issue. Building over the course of his lifetime. Arguably, his job was a very, very high end, fine detailed sprayer and panel beater for Lamborghini. So all of his work had to be artistically perfect. So his job suited that mentality. He retired. I'd argue that a lot of people with OCD need to be kept busy, to keep on top of things, to be occupied, to exhaust themselves, to think bigger than themselves rather than internally. Like a lot of other mental health issues, I think once people step outside of their own head or are given something to do, then the symptoms tend to ease a little bit. But going back to the Ozempic or whatever the fucking one you were talking about, if it's switching off that voice and that compulsion and that association between reward and action, there might be something in that for OCD, if that's right. That'll be interesting. I might look into that, because also he's because of his meds that he's on, he doesn't really do much anymore because he's a bit of a zombie. So he doesn't get out too much. So he's put on a few kilos. So it might be that he could get two birds with one stone there.
That's a shame. That's a shame. Interestingly enough,
Mhm.
the guy that we're having come on the show, fuck, I actually need to schedule it. Kieran, he suffers OCD.
Ah, okay.
Like,
A lot of people do.
He's got quite a intense, kind of interesting story to tell on the show. But and then now he ran the length for Scotland to raise money for like a charity, like to do with like mental health and whatnot from his story. But I'll not ruin it because we can get him to talk about it on the show. But I don't know if that would have anything to do with. I don't know if that would help any OCD behaviors, but we obviously spoke about it like off show. So I don't know how much I want to go into it, but I know like things like CBT and stuff. But
he's gone through all the fucking ring with that. Seema, they live in a brand new house. They moved in there about a year and a half ago. And one of the benefits of having OCD is that everything's fucking clean. But yeah, thank you.
I didn't realize that. In which case, Ozempic would help because it heals. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
I just now that my client's been on it and it's done properly, and I've seen it work. And anecdotally, you said about your mate, and Grant said about his mate that hasn't drank for X amount of time. I can't help but think there's probably some safe way of microdose or keeping it on a low dose. And
this page I was looking at here, it says the things that they're like the addictions that are being explored currently with Retta is like alcohol addictions. So like they're doing human studies already, like on that. Nicotine and smoking, binge eating, shopping, gambling, and sex addiction as well. And then cocaine and other stimulants. But mainly that's like this cocaine and other stimulants is animal testing. So there's some rats that are addicted to cocaine now getting tested with retatrutide out there.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's mental that they're like using it for like shopping and gambling addictions.
Yeah, I wonder if
doing studies on it.
I wonder if the gambling companies are like trying
fucking raging. Yeah,
trying to hold those back a little bit. Yeah. So talking of
we would have to believe in that first, Grant.
Yeah. None of that makes sense. The reincarnation thing. I can't get my head around how someone would think that would happen. But
what would you like to be like in if it was a thing? What would you like to be reincarnated as?
I don't know. Like if I had to choose an animal that I like.
There's 10 of yous in the chat. Put in what you would like as well.
My favorite animal is a fucking gorilla. Yeah, yeah, probably. I want to come
Nah,
back
but
as me
you
again.
can't. You can't just come back and like relive your life.
Oh, one thing that
An owl.
know,
I don't know if I like that or not. An owl.
so here's the thing that I haven't tried, right?
Heidi's pillow. A sloth.
You know,
You are a fucking sloth. Every video you send, you're lying in bed.
yeah.
I think I'd like come back as like a tiger or I don't think I'd like to come back as a gorilla though. They just sit around.
I was just looking at so Sevi, obviously they do like what's it called? Polls in the chat, don't they?
A horse. I don't know how to do a poll.
No. And I'm on you. It's definitely via you. What?
A mold spore.
Multiple, yeah, just to annoy people.
Danielle Brandon's dog. Oh, there we go.
Like, I feel like I've had enough. Like, I'm at the halfway point. I'm at 40, and I'm like, I can see why in 40 years I'll just want to be nothing. But if I had to come back and do another one,
2 seconds, I'll find it. I don't even know how to find myself on Strava.
well, Heidi, I literally signed up for Strava yesterday with the Ruck Race League, and I've signed up, and I've got a week to do the workout.
I'm gonna fucking buy Iraq and join that. I was speaking to that guy from my gym, Glenn, the dude that's like built like a Viking, does all the hammer stuff, pulls a carb, is like he's got the biting strap, you know. I wonder if I could pull up his Instagram. He's fucking jacked.
Well, if anyone does sign up for is going to sign up for the Ruck Race League, the official one, don't sign up before you get a reference code from me.
I want to pull up Glenn on Instagram because he's a fucking beast. This dude here, he just racks everywhere, and he's got one of those Yomp bags. It's like a 30-kilo bag that he just wears like everywhere.
Fucking lad, that's what Viking looks like.
He does like competitions for this. I didn't even know it was a thing until I seen him in the gym. How much think he can zerch or squat, Jake?
Oh god,
by looking at him.
Wouldn't want to fucking guess.
Glenn's fucking cool. Like, wait, just look at that. That's like
just,
a deadlift with his teeth.
Oh my god, that's nuts.
Like pulls folk in the gym on the sled
with his teeth.
Yeah, look. He's training to pull his car with his mouth strap.
Fucking hell. Is he training for something or just life?
He's just a fucking unit. What's that? 185 kilo Paul Zercher.
How much?
185 kilos.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
185 kilos.
Yeah. Jesus. On an axle bar. No fucking pads, nothing like.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I need to do more of that.
Doesn't dump it, just fucking walks it back in like a man.
Proper lad. We're watching Vikings again at the moment. That's awesome.
This dude, like, he's the fucking man. Like, you'd love
anyone
him.
Know how to do a poll? If I go to, I really want to do this because that's pretty cool. We can do that. I know it's really interesting.
I don't know how to find my Strava, so. Oh, you found me. Mason's my friend on Strava. You can find him off my page.
James is cool.
Pardon?
James was cool, wasn't he?
Oh,
Play.
James Pleagay.
Mm.
Yeah, he was fucking ace. I like James. And we've got Arnie Nelson coming back on. And we've
Yeah.
got Kieran. We've got Stephen Raynar. We still need to get Donnie from 57 North on. Unless you want to put him on the base show.
Oh, Heidi. Manage block words in chat.
Hello, Jeffrey, you wanker.
Boom. Fucking Heidi. Hang on.
What?
Heidi, can you type something?
I can't.
Right, I'm just seeing how to do a fucking. There we go. Heidi, do you like what I've done?
Yeah, you're giving her a wrench.
Yeah.
You must be on the YouTube to be doing that, are you?
Yeah, I am, and that's what I'm.
Right. Yeah, because that's how I did it with Trish.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to. How do I create a poll? I'm gonna like it.
Do you know what? We haven't even spoken about You're Drunk with Power. Haven't spoken about anything that we planned on tonight.
Oh yeah.
Look, he's pissed. He wants to be a wrench. I know it.
Grant's got to earn that. What did Heidi do? What did she do? Did she block someone? I'll tell you what. Where's Mason? Hang on. Fucking boom. Right, there we go.
You're dishing them out. We don't even need fucking wrenches in here.
Oh well, whatever. What we talk about rituals. So moving on from OCD to rituals. So by rituals, what we mean is little like habits and routines that sports people have or individuals have when they're doing their sport. So things
I wonder where you were going to go with this.
Oh right. You were wondering where I was going to go.
Aye, because when you said sport rituals, I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then I was like,
"Yeah.
What do you actually want to talk about?" And then I got like so busy this week, I didn't even ask. And then when Heidi says, "Like, are you actually talking about sports rituals?" and I was like, "I don't have a fucking clue what we're talking about."
I just find it really fucking interesting. The human mind, how it creates these little confirmation bias loops, where people find themselves tapping 3 times or rubbing their feet on the floor for a fucking deadlift, or like touching the floor and like doing the cross, or like looking up at the sky and like it's.
Who the fuck is this?
I don't know. No one anonymous gets a round.
Nah. They must have followed Kenneth here from Chris's show. Yeah, there's some obviously like massive fucking sports stars that have professional athletes that have got some like crazy like rituals and like things that they've like always do. Like also I just be massive into tennis. I'm laughing at in the chat there. I'm massive into tennis, and there's Serena Williams is like her, like she's fucking really like big on. She wears the same pair of socks for like the whole duration of a tournament.
Right.
So like each match she'll always wear the same like socks. Always bounces the ball like 5 times for her first serve, and then she always tries to shower at the same time every day. Like during a competition, like after a match, and so like it could be our like there's loads of little like things that she does that is like there are like superstitions for her.
That's the other word for it, superstitions.
Yeah,
but it's confirmation bias, because and this builds up. I've talked to so many different athletes about this, And I was talking to a 15-year-old. This is what sparked it, right? So I was talking to a 15-year-old on Tuesday in the gym about, so he's a lifter, and then there was a swimmer there who's like, "What's this? Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it worked. It
Yeah, 'cause
worked.
it worked that one time, and now it's like
Yeah.
the thing that you do.
Yeah.
Like Michael
so I
Jordan,
really
he wore his college like basketball. It was like the University of where was he? North Carolina. He wore the college shorts, like the practice shorts, underneath his Chicago Bulls shorts every single pro game he played. That's how like. Do you know that that's how like baggy shorts came into like play? Because he would wear like shorts that were like way baggy because he had two pairs of
Who
shorts.
was that?
Michael Jordan.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, he wears like North Carolina shorts under his Chicago Bulls shorts every single like pro game, apparently.
Wow. So, but like Beckham, Dave Beckham, he's riddled with OCD, like almost verging on the clinical. And there is rituals. It is there. Like this is the thing. Like
Tell us.
define that difference. Like ritualistic is something where you do it to get an outcome that has no impact directly on what you're about to do. So it might be like if I said to you, right, I'm a powerlifter, and this is genuine, by the way. There was a guy that used to fucking headbutt the bar before he would go for a heavy squat.
Mark McQueen would do that.
Yeah, but like people do shit, and it has no bearing at all on the physical act that they're about to do. It's purely psychological. Superstition is just that, is the acknowledgement of something. It is the acknowledgement of something external that has zero impact on the physical feat of what is about to happen. So ritual could mean eat some breakfast, lay out the night before, but that's ritual as well.
Yeah.
That could be because the superstition is if I don't do this, I won't perform as well. Like Seema touching the goal or the top crossbar, like Michael Jordan wearing the same set of trousers.
Yeah, I think that's probably like their rituals, but I wonder if she just mean like, you know, could eat breakfast, lay out the outfit night before. Is that just you being
Routine.
organized? Is that just routine? Yeah, your structure more than like a ritual.
It all kind of merges into this murky fucking, like, whether it's routine, ritual, or
how do you differentiate like your healthy kind of structure, like just like your daily kind of routine, to then like needing to wear like lucky shorts? Like,
but Heidi, ritual is just routine. From what you've just said, your definition of eat some breakfast, lay out outfit the night before, that is actual action that is changing the way that you do something. What you're saying about, and that's just systems, that's just routine. That's so ritual would be something like a rain dance, like dancing around a campfire to hope that rain comes down the next day. That's a ritual that they would do. Obviously, it wasn't actually. Well, it's an acknowledgement of something. It's all bollocks, like superstition and ritual. So you're saying ritual is routine. Okay, so dancing around a campfire, the rain dance rituals that cultures used to do, that had no impact on rainfall. But it became part of their routine.
So like what I've just looked at. So ritual, a purposeful routine or behavior that the athlete will use to prepare mentally or physically, like, you know, so like it's intentional, repeatable, and based on habit, structure, and focus. And then it's like obviously backed by their performance, you know, psychology that's like helps them kind of like calm their nerves, etc. Whereas superstition is a belief that a specific object, action, or behavior causes the result itself. So yeah, I get they are different, but they kind of intertwine, don't they?
They do cross over massively. Like, give me, what was the first one you said? Ritual.
Yeah, so that's like an intentional, repeatable habit. Like, you know, so it's like a structure and routine, like that's used to prepare mentally or physically for your like performance. So it's like, so like it could be like you doing the same dynamic warm up before every squat. It could be a footballer listening to like the same kind of hype playlist before going into the stadium. It could be like, you know, when you see people like walking up to the bar to do their deadlift and they do the fucking hands go up and, you know, they adjust their belt or fucking whatever it is. Like that's like their like ritual. It's like it's going to help reduce their like the decision fatigue. Fucking like it's going to help like their focus, like calm them. It's like it's because it's like it's repeatable. It's like what they do every single time. So it's like autopilot. Whereas like the superstition is like, if I don't have these shorts on, we're going to lose the game. If I don't listen to this song before I walk out to the cage, I'm going to get knocked out. It's like they put the onus on the result on a certain like object or behavior, if that makes sense.
I'd argue they're the same thing though. Like they're all mental. They're more mental preparation tools.
It is all to like be mentally prepared.
The deadlifter, the sumo deadlifter, fucking Lane, what's his name, does this, and it really fucks me off. Have you ever seen him doing a deadlift? Good, in it, Corey. When he goes up with the toes, and so many people do this now, and they dig their toes in, and then they kind of wiggle their toe, and then they put their foot down, and then they reach over with their other foot, dig in their toe, and rotate it so they're dug in, and then they do this. And then their arms up, and then they come down. You could argue that that's prepping their foot position, and they're extending the lats, and they're getting active. But fuck me, it's a load of bollocks.
That's
need to do that.
That's ritual. Whereas superstition might be, if I didn't have the same singlet on for every powerlifting meet, I'm not going to hit my total.
But if I said to them, don't do it.
Do that.
Their superstition around that ritual has been confirmed by bias that it worked before. So it's all this murky water of the same fucking thing, that these mental tools that we use, and it's no surprise, and it's so fucking common at the top end of elite sport. All of them have it. And the reason I said this, that I was nearly got through it, was the 15-year-old lad that's just started weightlifting, the swimmer in there that's like 28, and then you've got this a female runner of a track runner who's like early 30s. We were laughing because I said to, like, Joel was getting ready for a deadlift. One of the swimmers said his name now. He was about to do the deadlift, and he tapped his foot, and he did 2 deep breaths, and then he looked up, and then he did a nod thing, and then he did his fucking lift.
Oh.
Yeah. And I sort of just went like that and just acknowledged it, and I didn't really do much. And the lifter was like, "What was that?" And I was like, "It's just a ritual. This is pre-lift ritual." He's like, "What?" He had no fucking idea what that meant, that people did it, that it was a thing.
I think when you first start lifting, you don't really do anything like that. It's like, I think as you get more
experience
into it, then you're like, oh, this is what works for me, and I feel good doing it. So it's like, it just becomes...
It's confirmation bias.
Yeah.
And every single ritual in religions, in cultures, in workplace, they're all the same thing. We're doing it because it worked before. It seemed to do something that worked. And even if that's true, carry on doing it. But from my perspective, like I catch myself sometimes having a routine of some description, but I don't really have much of it. But I acknowledge the fact that it's a tool that a lot of elite sports people use to hone themselves in. Like my father-in-law used to talk about this thing that he had in his head, where when he was getting ready for a lift, he'd have a train coming towards a platform. He'd visualize this train approaching the platform. When the train got to the platform, he was allowed to lift. And he won the Commonwealth Games with that process. There's no fucking train. It's not real. There's no platform. It's all in his head, but it worked and it carries on working. This their superstition would be if they don't dig their toes in, they can't. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And this is what that's it. This is what I'm saying. But it's also his ritual that he does before each lift.
I think
It's
that's
his
what
root.
I think that's where that kind of stuff crosses over, because it's like it's became what he does because it gives him the performance. But if you were to ask him not to do it,
He
mightn't
wouldn't.
believe he can. Aye, yeah.
No. And it's just this is what it got me thinking about, this whole crossover of all of these different words. Are they in sport? Are they kind of the same thing? Because next time you're at a
Yeah.
sports game, I'm sure everyone here has acknowledged it. But next time we're at a sports game or an event or watching it on telly and watch everything like, watch people getting ready for a lift or a dive or a throw or a catch or a run or a sprint or whatever it is. Watch them walk out. Watch them get ready. Watch them prepare. Watch the tools that they have to just convince themselves that they're right. They convince themselves that they should be there. They convince themselves they're prepped. They convince themselves that they're ready to go. But it's a placebo and it works. So
I think we could say what? So we could say rituals are process driven. Superstitions are like outcome driven. So like rituals are going to help you get into the zone,
Yeah.
help you prepare to do what you're needing to do. But like it becomes superstition when it's like if you don't do them, like, well, they guarantee the result for you, if you know what I mean. So like and often they don't have any like bearing on the performance in itself. So like that's what I'm saying. Like something like Michael Jordan wearing those shorts isn't going to have any bearing on his performance, but him setting up for a deadlift is going to have bearing on his performance. So that's more a ritual than a superstition, because it's like it's process driven. So it's not even necessarily a superstition. It's more of like, because it's actually helping him get into the zone. It's going to help him, do whatever he's needing to do. But the ritual, not the ritual, the superstition comes from something that has like no bearing on the result. So like the likes of Serena Williams wearing those socks for every single match at like Wimbledon. She could wear a different pair of socks and still perform at her best.
Yeah.
But in her mind, she can't, because the socks guarantee the result.
Yeah. So Michael Jordan wearing those college pants underneath his shorts is confirmation bias, because he wore them every match and he did really well.
Yeah.
So it confirms and supports his prior beliefs or values. Okay.
Yeah, like I think everyone's got like that kind of stuff going. Yeah, like I think any lifter with any like experience has little things that they do before they. And it's like,
and there's degrees, aren't there?
I think any athlete, whatever they do, because you look at there's tons of people. That Rafael Nadal, if you watch him every time before he serves, he pulls at his shorts, he fucking tucks the hair, make sure his hair's behind his ear, and he always touches his nose. Always touches his nose before he serves.
Yeah.
I used to be obsessed with tennis.
Yeah, I can tell.
And he also has to, if you watch him when he comes out in court, he always lines up all his bottles correctly.
Oh, really? Yeah. So
that's not ritual, that's superstition. Because the bottles being like a certain way that's not process driven, because the bottles are the bottles, but he lines them up so the labels are facing the same way, like out into the court. That's a superstition. He says, I'm pretty sure he says it brings order to the chaos that's on the court.
It's a control thing, isn't it?
It's in his mind now.
Yeah. Fucking
have you got any not
what, so
have you got any rituals?
So when I'm doing back squat, because back squat's arguably my best lift, I'm relatively low bar. I'm not super low bar, but I'm sort of low down on my traps.
A hybrid squat.
Yeah, I'll get in, and then I'll come through and make sure I'm really locked in at the back there, and it'll be 2 of those.
Can we pull up sitting on Instagram while you're talking about that?
Yeah.
Because I used to, I don't very often back squat that much anymore. I still squat, but I don't often back squat anymore. But I had an absolute fucking. I wonder if it's on my page or if it's on my business page.
So this
You
loop,
can chat while I find it.
this loops right back to that twat that I was on about that used to drop in at our gym.
Mhm.
So he clearly had a control thing. It was his ego. He needed to be in control. He needed to be in charge because of a lack of he had an insecurity about himself. He was worried what people thought of him. He had to be in control because in his mind, he took charge of what was going on rather than being in an environment where he wasn't in control based on insecurities, based on trauma, based on upbringing, whatever the fuck you want to label it. He had to be in charge of what he was doing. When you said about Nadal having to, have order in the chaos of a tennis court,
Mhm.
it's the similar principle. It's I want to take charge, I want to take control, I want to add some structure here where there is none, so that I feel okay, so that I'm okay here. Arguably, that people like that, they can't deal with the open environment that comes with that. Thing is weightlifting, and this is what I love about barbell sports. There's a reason that everyone's so fucking supportive of each other, is that you're not really, other than the little, changes to the lifts in weightlifting at the backstage with the coaches and one-upping people so you get a bit more rest time and whatnot. But you're completely in your own in control of what you are lifting. Like
Yeah, you
no
can't,
one,
and you can't affect the other people.
no one's changing your lift. So with the barbell sports, I feel like that's obviously, like, you could argue that when you're in your lane in a 100-meter sprint, you're not directly affected on, but other people are running at the same time. Whereas when you're lifting, you're on your own. No one else is lifting. It's very unique in that sense. Gymnastics as well. No one's, but again, you are in an open environment, so to speak, because you've got, all the apparatus being used around you at the same time. So it's a closed sport, which is where open and closed sports are very different, aren't they? Obviously, you're getting different input and different a different style of, and I guess that's why a lot of people, a lot of the nutters go into jiu-jitsu from CrossFit, having to learn about being in an open environment again. Because with CrossFit, you're completely closed environment for the best part of it. You're in your lane, you're doing what you do. No one really is making a dent on what your potential is. It's why the blinkers go on and you just do your own work and not look around the room about other people.
Right. I just want to quick this. I'll give you a laugh. I used to set up for a barbell squat exactly the same way, and I went into just like a local gym, and I didn't even check to see what kind of J hooks were on it, and I went to set up for my, because I would, even with like no weight on the bar, I would right hand on, left hand on, and I would kind of like almost like swing myself like under the bar and get it right tight. And these J hooks were not like, they were just like,
Oh
nothing.
God!
And I yanked the bar straight out the rack and fucking ended up fucking decking it. I'll share it.
And you got a video of that?
Yeah, I got it off the CCTV for the gym.
Oh, amazing! Here we go.
Yeah, look.
Oh no!
Look at the guy in the punch bag. He starts laughing his head off. Look.
Good.
I fucking decked it.
Brilliant. Did I tell you about my mate the other day? My client. He got a new car.
Question.
That is a good question. I'll come to my mate in a minute. Yeah, do rituals create himself? I think so. I think they can. They don't always, but I think they can. Someone said earlier, I think Chris said something about an example of a religious superstition. Communion. So taking communion. That's a limitation. And that'll move my squat stance a bit to my fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like there's so many fucking.
It's like it'll get to
It
a
is a
point
culture.
where a productive ritual will get it'll end, and it'll be like a limiting kind of like that's where so like how do I describe it? Like, you know, these things that like people are doing before like games, like a lift, whatever it is, and it's like a productive thing that helps them get set up. But then it'll get to the point where it goes past that, and then it's actually like that's then limiting them, and then you
Yeah.
could say that where like the superstition like begins. So like there's too much reliance on that ritual for then it to be like a performance crutch, if like that makes
Okay.
sense.
So so you mentioned and Heidi mentioned earlier then. So one is
Process driven, one outcome driven.
right. So if you're process driven to the nth degree, you're living in the present and the past and the present that you're trying to prepare within. But after a certain while along that spectrum, you end up jumping into compulsion, superstition along that spectrum, stuff that's going to affect the future, and you're living in the future looking back at itself. Yeah, so CJ, we were talking about that, and that's semi what we were kind of what brought it up. Yeah, my dad's like clinically got OCD and sectioned and all sorts of meds for it and shit like that. And funny, CJ, you might be able to contribute to that. We're talking about the medication, the fucking Ozempic.
Ozempic and stuff.
They're being tested and shown to like affect other addictions, like alcoholism and stuff like that. And I asked if it's affecting addiction because arguably OCD is an addiction to repetition. It stinks of it. I don't think it's ever been defined that way, but when I watch my dad and I watch people doing it, it's this addiction to confirmation bias. It's this addiction to repetition. They're addicted to it, truly. If you were to break that cycle and get rid of that addictiveness towards those things, I think you could eliminate that. So I was just interested to know if that could be applied to sort of mental health issues. But we'll see. We'll see. But
While
yeah.
you were saying
Oh,
that,
we should probably go.
I asked ChatGPT if Retta could help combat OCD tendencies.
Okay.
And it says, while retatrutide specifically hasn't started, there's no studies been started for OCD yet, there is growing interest in whether a GLP-1 receptor agonist, like ones found in Ozempic, Mounjaro, retatrutide, could help with OCD because those related mental health issues are strongly linked to the reward and dopamine cycle as well. Well, dysregulation, much like addictions. So yeah, like I think in theory, it could.
Yeah.
But all these things, like the likes of retatrutide, it's not even. It's in a phase 3 trial for other things at the moment. So like, it could be, but you can get that fucking anywhere online.
Yeah. So yeah, CJ, I agree. It is, but the outcome of the repetition is the repetition never ends. Like it'll be open ended. It never finishes. There's no. So some people say, "Oh, I've got this OCD where I tap the thing 3 times." It's like you do it 3 times, and then it'll be what's next. The brain immediately jumps to the next repetition, the repetitive cycle and loop death spin that they go into. So yeah, I agree. It is the outcome of the repetition, and this is the thing that we were talking about. The difference between the definitions that I've been put forward today, which I agree with, is the ritual and superstition. The difference between the two of them. With what you're saying is OCD is more specific to the fear of the outcome. So that's more the superstition. So the superstition is what will happen if I don't do this. And then the ritual is the thing that we do to prevent the superstition from occurring.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And That's the question, Heidi.
Yeah, like I've seen
Not
like,
easily.
there's days, and it comes and goes. It's just the strength. And for lack of a better phrase, and this is where I've got a lot more empathy with like people with eating disorders, and whether it's a one side of the scale or the other, and what rather than just saying, well, just don't eat or don't whatever. I guess everyone in this chat has as well. I'm not unique
I know,
there.
'cause it's like if you
No,
break
but
down just simply that, it's like
yeah.
you probably know that anyway.
But my dad, if he feels the pressure to like stop counting or to stop tapping his finger, or someone says, "Why are you doing that?" and he feels like he stops, it's on pause
Yeah, until he can do it again.
until he's on his own, and then he will have to pay the fucking piper, and then it gets 10 times worse, and he'll have to do something fucking ridiculously uncommon. He didn't drive a car for 3 years because he was worried about his compulsions. He would have to tap the accelerator 3 times before braking. He would have to leave it last minute until a signpost to say brake was 10 meters behind him. Every single step of the way of his life was a superstition and a
Yeah,
repetition count.
you're
It's
constantly in fight
torture.
or flight as well.
Yeah, it's fucking torture. And when people, do you remember that program? It was on Channel 4. It was like OCD and Me or something, and it was basically people that just like cleaning, and it was almost like a piss take of it would be the equivalent today of saying like Depression and Me, and then someone that's just a little bit sad because they stubbed their toe. It's
Mate,
like when we use the term, the phrase OCD is overused for people with minor like need for this ritualized thing. Like when you are around someone with genuine like OCD, it's shocking to start with because they're shaking, they're thinking about what, and like it got to the point where I didn't want my kids around him because he would ask them the same thing 7 times. He would ask them, "So how's your day been, Athena?" And she'd answer him, "So how's your day been, Athena?" And he'd answer him, "So what was your day like, Athena?" And she'd answer. And when you're a 3 or 4 year old kid, that's so fucking confusing. And
yeah, you
then
don't know.
they're impacted. So for the best part of 6 months, they didn't see my dad because I didn't want them around it, and that was hard. But then imagine living with that. Imagine being my mum and having to fucking deal with it every day every hour, every minute of the day. It's just heartbreaking to see. But also, he's now been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. So, do they go hand in hand? Is there a link with Parkinsonisms and OCD? Don't know. So it's tough to kind of go down that route, and I think especially since that happened to my dad and has gradually done. I've made a concerted effort to eliminate any sign of that kind of shit. And I think it's actually de-stressed me quite a lot.
Yeah. It's funny.
switching that.
Birch has just said, his grandson's autistic and his mom's OCD. It's funny because I live Adams on repeat 24/7, and he's got a lot of like strict routines, rituals. And it's rituals, it's not superstitions, but it is. There's a lot of stuff that he has to do like every day, but I try and purposely break them. Not like everything, but
No.
to kind of show him, nothing bad's going to happen if we don't go to, because he loves to go to Dan Elm every day after school. And sometimes I'll take him, like most of the time I do. But then other days I just like say, oh no, we can't go today, and I'll not take him. He's upset for a little while, but it's to show him. But that's very, very different to OCD. But he's got a lot of like things built up in his head that he needs to do this, then he needs to do that, then he needs to do this. Every Sunday he needs to do this. It's routines, and it's that's not OCD. That's just the way he's processing the world, and that's his routine. Because it makes him feel safe. It makes him feel, like he knows what's coming. So it's calm. It's not it's not OCD, if you know what I mean. It's not obsessive compulsive, but that's a way of him feeling calm. And again, it probably comes back to a little bit of control, because if he doesn't know what's coming, then the anxiety, the everything that fear that can build up. But I can guess it's probably the same kind of feeling of OCD. It's like, I need to do this, otherwise this bad thing might happen. And you might not even know what the bad thing is, but it's just that feeling that's internalized. And I know that's
Right.
like, obviously we're going to get Keenan on, and that was him. The way he spoke about it was, he could, when he was a kid, he would be going to his bed at say 9 o'clock at night, and he'd still be doing his things that he needed to do, and it's like midnight. But something would break the cycle, and he would go, oh fuck, back to the start, and then his dad would come in like, go to fucking bed.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he'd be like, oh, back to the start, and he'd be like 4 o'clock in the morning, he's still up.
Yeah.
And then at 7 o'clock in the morning, he's having to get up for school, and he's like, not even fucking been to bed yet.
Yeah. And
but I'll let him kind of tell his story. Like,
tell me that's not an addiction. It's got all the hallmarks of an addiction, like unable to do something that you know is negatively impacting you, in the knowledge that it is, and you can't break out of it. It's yeah.
I know that, Birch. I was actually taking signs down off this wall like 2 minutes before we came in here. I've actually there's still ones on the door, because Adam likes to put signs up on the door. See, that one says Kind Active, and then the one outside says DW Sports, because he knows I work in health and fitness. He always makes this place into DW Sports. And then he's wrote High Rocks on our fence.
Brilliant.
In chalk. Yeah.
Good.
And I wash it off with a hose, and then he comes out in the morning and writes it back on. Every night I wash it off with a hose, and then he comes back out in the morning after his breakfast and writes it back on. And I always tell him, don't write on my fence with chalks, and he just is like, he needs to go out and do it. And he'll look at me through the window like, oh, and I'm just like, I can just do it then. Don't care. Yeah, there we go. Whereas addiction is driven by desire for pleasure. Well, that's what we were saying. We were talking about. We were talking about being like the dopamine response, and what was I saying? It was like the reward system. That's where we're finding these drugs like Ozempic, semaglutide. What is it called? Tirzepatide, and then retatrutide. They're actually being like shown to kind of dull those receptors, that stimulate, the reward cycle, so to speak.
I would say though, CJ, so that second part, and I totally get what you're saying. With OCD, so the line there about addiction, the desire for pleasure or relief from the withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah, because it's an impulse, isn't it? System, isn't it?
If my dad was withdrawing from whatever fucking routine he's doing at the time, if he stops that, like there was once where we had the ambulance round and they were bringing him sedation medication, all that shit, and they had to do it in the living room. He was sat down and calm as you like, and he was whispering things, and it was the same thing that he was saying over and over again, and he stopped, and they were talking to him, asking the questions, and my mum clocked him, and she said, "It's killing you not to be able to do this." And he said, "Yeah, it's burning, like it's burning in my head, like I have no idea what's going on right now, like I need, it's a fire's going on in my head. All I can think about is the relief that I'm going to get from saying that whispering over and over again. It relieves. It's a release of this demon in his head." And I get on the first one. I get that. I wanted that trigger compulsive behaviors aimed at reducing the anxiety. Is that anxiety, however, maybe confused with the relief from the withdrawal symptoms that you get by doing the routine? It's a really odd one. If you can switch off that voice of saying, if I don't do this, this will happen, if you can get rid of that, I don't know. It's tough. Like,
Mhm.
and it's a mental health issue. Like every single mental health issue, it's not a broken bone. you
No,
can't you can't
it's
mend
a
it.
it's a chemical imbalance, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's what they've got him. One of his meds is the one beginning with S. The like
Sertraline.
sertraline. Yeah, he's on that. Quite a high dose of that. Alongside all the anti-psych stuff and all that stuff.
I took sertraline for the best part of 4 years.
Right. Okay. And was that like a? My dad says it's the sunshine one. He just calls it the sunshine pill. He said it just
Mine,
makes him feel a bit sunnier.
I took it because I like had really bad anxiety, like, and
Right.
it came out, and it came when I decided to stop drinking. I felt
Right.
like my whole, like, I felt like anything that I was doing was, I don't know, I just felt like, I almost felt, I just felt as if I had like impending doom every single day. I felt like I was gonna like do something to like mess everything up, even though I knew I
Right.
wasn't, even though I could logically, like, I could zoom out and think like, oh no, like what I'm doing is like, I'm not doing anything wrong. But
Yeah.
I always thought that I was, if that makes sense. And I would have panic attacks. I would like, and it was just like, I've never, like, the doctor basically put me on it because he said I was depressed, and I knew I wasn't depressed, but I didn't know what was wrong. And
Yeah.
it was the only thing, and all it did was basically just made me not really fucking like feel like that. It didn't make me. I wasn't depressed, so it didn't make me feel any happier because I was genuinely a happy
No.
person. Like I'm a happy person. I'm not on it now. I'm like 3 years since I've last taken it, and I don't have panic attacks anymore. You know what I mean? But I did a lot of therapy during the time that I was on it.
Okay.
You know. There we go. Yana, what a 40-minute 10K. A distance template.
What not covered we're talking about? Yeah. I don't know. This is the thing. It's still early days, and the triggering factor. We're coming up to 2 hours now. We can talk about it another time. But yeah, it's it's a tough one, but everyone's got their issues, haven't they? It doesn't matter really.
This podcast is well different than what I thought it was going to be tonight.
Yeah,
It's been all over the place, eh?
yeah. That's some big names in the chat.
This has probably been one of the fucking best podcasts we've done.
Because we had
Here we go. 40-minute 10K run. Have you got a distance template? I don't have a distance template. Depending on what you can currently run, a 10K would depend on how long it would take you to get a 40-minute 10K. I don't have a 40-minute 10K. I don't know why. You probably be better coaching yourself to do a 40-minute 10K than I would. I do. I understand the program. I understand the method. I understand the get it. I don't have it yet.
I've rode 10K in 40 minutes. I've never run it.
Yeah, 40-minute 10K is very impressive.
Yeah. So I talked about this the other day. Who was I talking to? I can't remember what fucking show I was on.
Knocking 10 minutes off a 10K is big.
Yeah. Speed walking, race walking. There's a lady on the island who's in the GB squad for race walking, Erica. She's got a sub 40 walk 10K.
That's mental, eh?
It's just and her heart rate doesn't go above 135 because it's walking. It's nuts.
That's like the speed walking, like when like both feet are like off the ground at the same time.
They're only allowed 1 foot off at a time.
Right. Okay. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I could even run. Well, I can't run a 10K that fast with that heart rate. No. I think my 10K PB is like 54 something. I need to go and check. It's around the 54, 55 mark. But I've not run for fucking ages.
Yeah.
I've been on the bike a lot.
Why not? Eh?
I rode 50 kilometers in an hour 42 on Saturday.
Nice. Almost as good as our friend Mason.
Nah, Mason
Today's
would probably
show,
do that.
today's show was
Way
brought to you
quicker. Hour and 48, sorry. Hour and 48.
by Oakles, the Isle of Man's favourite alcoholic beverages.
I know people that can run sub 40 10k,
It's nuts.
which is fucking ridiculous.
Fuck, it's 10:30.
I know. I've not even had my dinner yet.
Jesus.
If I was taking retatrutide, I wouldn't even want to have it. You're going to do well. Let's see it.
Yeah. You need a goal. Do a high rocks as your goal. And don't give me any of that bullshit because a 10k run is far gayer than a high rocks. So do a high rocks. Or do the Rock Race League with us. Come on. Let's
Did you buy a rack? Or are you just doing it with what?
I'm just doing it with a bag, and there's we've got so many weighted vests at the gym of different like plates. I'm just gonna get that.
I've got a do you know what? I've got a decent bag that I could wear. Just the fucking North Face jobby. Like
so the first week's one is called Kronos, and it's an hour max distance ruck with at 20% body weight in the bag.
Do you does it have to be like on a trail, or could you just go out anywhere and do it?
You go anywhere. It can be anywhere, but I've got a route that I'm going to walk just because I'm not doing it for fucking winning anything. And there's this really nice flat gravel walk, but it's through fields near my house. So I'm just going to go on that. And I know I'm going to walk for half an hour and then just turn back and come back.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got a week to get it done from now. So it's by next Thursday.
This guy, that guy that I pulled up his Instagram, Glenn, he like that's what he says is like he eats about 5k calories. You know, we could get him on here. He eats about 5k calories a day, and weight falls off him. And he's like, it's because they literally rack everywhere. He's got like that 30 kilo back because that's what he puts all his work stuff in. He's got like a proper rucksack, you know, and he takes all his work stuff. He's got his meals and everything, but the bag itself weighs like, I think it's like 45 or 50 pounds just itself. And then he puts all his shit in it and he walks about like 10 miles a day in it.
Nuts, innit? Just some people.
No, I do drive, he says, but I like to walk everywhere.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Mate, there's these things again, they're routines, they're rituals, and they're healthy ones. They work. And sometimes you've got to break through and do it for a month before it becomes normal. And then you're just doing it and you enjoy it. Like anything hard. Oh, talking of hard.
Here he is.
Here he is. I think we need a new picture. We need a new picture for PK. I sent PK a picture earlier on Instagram of this guy, this gay guy holding a shaver, and he's a bear. And then next to him, a picture of him after he'd shaved his entire body. And it's fucking mental. The difference. This can be our closing. This can be what we can close on.
I'm looking at our outside the box algorithm, and it's more straight than it used to be.
Oh, are there loads of girls with their tongues out?
Yeah,
that's been affecting me massively recently.
I need to click on some of these and do not interested.
If I I'll airdrop it to myself. Then we'll go because it's 10:30. Share airdrop. There we go. Right. Here we go. Where is it? Hey, there we go. PK's gonna love it. And I would do anything. I've got to open it first. There we go. Right, if I go share screen, window, that one, boom. There we go. Look at that.
Looking at something else.
Look at the difference.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mad, isn't it? From bare to barely legal in 60 seconds. Good. Right, on that bombshell, I'll save that as my screensaver. I've been it. There we go.
Look at this.
Bin. Hey.
We'll end on this.
All right, okay.
Good night.